Back at it again, Cigar Spencer. You know what time it is. It's time for the top 10 2024 East Texas preseason quarterbacks. A very fun and a group that you guys should know. A lot of these quarterbacks made big plays all of last year. And these are the 10 that I am projecting to be the best quarterbacks going into 2024 and who I think will perform the best early in the preseason. But here we go. At number 10, it's a sophomore quarterback from New Diana, DeJuan Johnson. Johnson last year led the Eagles to an 8-3 record. Took really East Texas by surprise as a freshman quarterback. He was explosive with the ball in his hands, had kick returns for touchdowns. He was also a DB, could throw the football as well, also could run it. He threw for about 1,132 yards last year, had 17 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, which is phenomenal for a freshman. On top of that, he's a guy that ran for over 1,000 yards last year, so he's as electric as they come with the ball in his hands. He's a real game changer and a real playmaker, and a guy that I expect to do really well in 2024. At number 9, he's a junior quarterback from Tyler High, Caden Granberry. And I was really impressed with Granberry last year. I thought Granberry did an excellent job of throwing the football down the field, staying in the pocket. He is not tall. He is about 5'5", 5'6", maybe 155, 65 pounds, maybe even less than that. But when he plays that position as well as anybody in East Texas, he gets the ball out of his hands. He is a playmaker, an innovator. And with another year to grow with Coach Woods, I believe that he'll take even bigger steps than the ones that he took his sophomore year out the gate. So I was really impressed with Granberry, and I think he's going to have a big 2024 as well. At number 8, let's get into the senior class. At number 8, we've got Jackson Moffitt, senior quarterback from Van. He's a 3-year, this will be his 3rd year starting. Van has been really a run-dominant team, especially his sophomore year. But last year, they opened it up a little bit more with the RPO game. And Moffitt got a little bit better I don't want to say he got better. They just started being more comfortable throwing more passes with him. Him being a 3-year starter, I believe that the passing game will be an asset for him. Players make big jumps in between after playing for quite some time, and I think he has as well. And the improvement that he had from his sophomore to junior year, I expect the same type of improvement from his junior to senior year. Van is a tough football team, tough football town. They play defense, they run the ball, they're smash mouth, they're hard nosed. Moffitt's ability to throw the ball and open up the offense makes them dangerous, kind of like how it could be what Jackson Rainey was in 2021. I don't know if he could be that type of player, but I do expect an improvement for him to open up the offense more and take Van as far as he can this year. At number 7, senior Jordan Smiley. Jordan Smiley played at Henderson last year. This year, according to Huddle, he has moved and transferred to Kilgore, and boy, does that change things for the Kilgore Bulldogs. Jordan Smiley is an immensely talented player. He can run the football inside, outside. He can throw it down the field. He is a great athlete, and that mixed with what Kilgore can do already in running the football. I know they're replacing a lot of their offensive line, but it's in their DNA. It's who they want to be at Kilgore, as a tough-nosed, hard-nosed running football team. With that, and a guy that has those kind of abilities at quarterback, I know the Terrence Brooks was also a good player, and he'll have to battle it out with him. But I do believe with Jordan Smiley, if he was returning at Henderson, would be in the same spot. I believe he's a difference maker out on the field. And with that Kilgore roster, with those receivers to throw it to, and Sanders and Towns and whoever else emerges from the team, if they always have more emerge each year, it could be dangerous over there for Kilgore. So I think really highly of this guy's skill set, and I think he can really play. And I think he'll have a really good chance to make a state run with Kilgore this year. At number 6, senior quarterback David Potter. David Potter is an impressive-looking guy at quarterback. He's about 6'3", 6'4", 205 pounds. He's mobile. He's not a guy that's going to run a whole lot, but he is mobile in the pocket. He can move around. He's got a big arm. He likes to throw the ball standing upright. They've got 2 great backs in Texas High, and Javari Johnson and Trey Ball. And I think that David Potter is going to be the key. If he can bring on some new receivers and they can be explosive in the passing game like they have been the last couple years with Potter. This is his 3rd year starting. I believe the Texas High, man, I always think they're one of the most talented teams in East Texas. I believe they can put a run together, and it's maybe one of those years where they have to get it done because some kids getting ready to graduate, but they always reload. I always say it's their last year, but they always got another year because that's what Texas High does. They're full of freaks and animals out there. At number 5, senior quarterback MJ Cates from Pine Tree. And Cates can do it all. He can really run it. When he's at his best, he's running it. He can throw it as well, but when Pine Tree is at their best, he's controlling the tempo of the game. He's running and picking up first downs, and he has the speed to house it from anywhere on the field. He had a couple of long touchdown runs in 2023. He's got a returning receiver in Jordan Taylor, who was pretty good last year, rated at like 87 or 88. And he brings back, Monster is coming back with him, so the offense has a chance to be good. And I expect them to try to compete. Now they went down to 4A. I think they're going to try to compete with the Kilgores and Chapel Hills of the world. I do expect them to make the playoffs, though. I do think they'll be the second or third best team in that district, and it'll be interesting to see what MJ can do in his senior year. Here we go, the top 4, the cream of the crop. At number 4, a guy that's been on the list for 2 years. This will be his 3rd year making the list. If this season goes anything like he's always been going for him, and that is Chase Johnson. Chase Johnson comes in at number 4. He's going to be a 3-year starter. He improved greatly from his sophomore to junior year. His arm has always been strong. Always had a cannon for an arm. But his accuracy down the field improved, and then his willingness to run and be physical while running football improved as well. Like I said, he's never going to be a guy that is going to run 4.5, and he's going to be a D. Lewis type of runner that was there in Dangerfield. But he is effective at this level, and he does run behind his pads, and he can and will, I think, have to go get some tough yards this year, especially without Bubba Hampton being out there on the field. He does return number 1 receiver in Kenny Mosley from last year. I do think they'll have a great connection, but I think winning-wise, I think Chase is going to have to take over the game a little bit more physically than he has before, and I think he has those capabilities, and I hope the rest for him and Dangerfield out there. At number 3, Demetrius Brisbane, senior quarterback from Chapel Hill. This will be the first guy, or him and his teammate Ricky Stewart will be the first guys to ever be on the list 4 years in a row. What they did as freshmen as well documented. What they've done at Chapel Hill in their whole career has been well documented. I've got him sitting here at number 3, mainly because he's more of an athlete than quarterback. They're replacing a lot of receivers in Mayfield, and they're replacing Cameron Kelly is going to be gone. So they're replacing some of their receivers, but Brisbane is best when he's running the football. And make no mistakes about it, they understand that at Chapel Hill. And when it's time to win the game, that's what they're going to do what they're best at. These guys made it to state last year. And, in order for Brisbane to be, in that category again in the top 10, top 5, possibly this year, I need to see one of those deep playoff runs again, and hopefully a little better effort in the state championship game. At number 2, senior quarterback from Gilmer, Texas, Caden Tennyson. Caden Tennyson had one of the greatest playoff runs in East Texas history. Caden Tennyson turned it on from week 1 all the way to week 6. Now, don't get me wrong, he did play with Will Henderson. Will Henderson, the guy, is just phenomenal. The fastest player in East Texas last year. Just committed to UTSA. Going to sign on and be at UTSA this summer. But, of course, he had him. But Caden Tennyson was incredible. He didn't turn the ball over. He was accurate. He ran the football. Look at the last 10-game stretch to win state. This is what Gilmer did offensively. They scored 56, 49, 59, 64, 69, 41, 34, 47, 79 in the state semifinal, and then 28 in the state championship game. That offense was more than Will Henderson, and Tennyson had a lot to do with it and how well they played towards the end of the year. So I really like Caden Tennyson, but I cannot put him over number 1, junior Jet Surratt from Carthage. Jet Surratt played like a full-grown man last year when you look at his numbers. 3,800 yards throwing the football, 46 touchdowns for a sophomore. And these games, they're not playing in the 3rd and 4th quarter in some of these games. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that, there is some stat chasing going on there just a little bit. But when you've got a guy that's this talented, why not? Just Surratt looked like a senior last year. Maybe not physically, but just like the things that he did on the football field were very, very good. The plays he made against Pleasant Grove to win that game. The plays that he made in order to tie the ball game up against Gilman. That drive to go down the field, no blinking, just made it go happen. Of course, overtime didn't go their way, but, it wasn't because of him. You get a couple more stops. I'm sure defensively they're thinking we get a couple more stops. Surratt's a state championship quarterback. So best believe that I feel like Surratt is the most talented guy. He's very accurate. He might not have the strongest arm in these sections, but his arm is live. It goes far enough. And now, most importantly, it's on time and on the money 95% of the time. A really, really good football player. Don't sleep on his athleticism. He has athleticism to get away from people. He's also one of the best golfers in East Texas in this class. Just an overall athlete. And he's exactly what you think Scott Surratt's sons would look like. But yeah, he's the #1 preseason quarterback in East Texas.